All right, welcome back, race fans. Here we are, Turn V8 Supercars. This is round 2 at Long Beach. This is race 1, 15 laps, I guess 14 racing laps around Long Beach. This is going to be very tight here, lots of concrete. I'm going to be your host, Ryan McDowell, Siphon68, and I'm joined by Haystack, aka Ryan Shelton. Say hi, Shelton.
What's going on, guys?
All right, so this is going to be a hell of a race here. I think we're going to see some very, very tight maneuvers as these guys get started on their formation lap here. Ryan, able to call out the grid?
Yeah, let's see what we got here for you. Starting out first is going to be GSR Roadrunner putting down quite possibly one of the greatest laps ever, the 22.471. And that's going to be almost 4/10 faster than who's starting out second with BAM Asics. Then we have LRT Breeze and Zermatt in the second row. N6R Gannon with the F4H Diablo in the third row. Both of them coming in with a 23.19. BAM Osif VOR Amos is going to be in the fourth row. DKS Monkey BAM Mist. The next row, F4H Miko J Parrott going to be starting 11th and 12th. BG Wamba and Nick James 1, 2, 3 are going to be 13th and 14th. Then rounding out the field, you're going to have F4H Devil in 15th, PTG Metasphere in 16th, Sorry Smithy in 17th, TLR Overdrive in 18th, F4H Crux in 19th, and 20th place is going to be K-Pi BR. And he will round out the grid with a 124.11. It's going to be about a second and a half slower than what we had on the very top with a 122.4. And these guys, especially in that mid-pack, from about 6th to about 5th all the way back to about 12th is only separated by 4/10 of a second. So you're really going to see that mid-pack again today, as we saw with Coda last week. It's going to be a huge battle between all those guys.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think qualifying was so critical here because it's so difficult to pass, and I think with the caliber of these guys, I mean, we definitely saw some rubbing last week, but I think very few want to see a repeat of sort of the contact that happened in race 2 last week. So I think these guys are going to be in a little bit better behavior, but the tire barriers here are going to be very unforgiving. If somebody snags one of those, especially on the exit of turn 1 there, sort of on the right side, it pretty much just stops your car. So I have a feeling we're going to see some massive damage in this race at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, those tire barriers don't give you damage from hitting them. It's the bouncing back that's going to be the damage, because especially turn 7 going onto that backstretch, there's one right there on the outside, and it is not very friendly when it comes to how wide the road is, and it's right there on the racing line. So if you manage to hit that and there is a group of cars behind you, you will cause a pile up. And it's going to be
the back of the grid is still getting set here. Man, that's a lot of cars on the tight Long Beach.
Yeah,
right there.
Looks like we're gonna have a few of these guys try to just survive. I'm pretty sure a lot of the guys in the back just want to survive this race. You'll see a little more racing up front, but I'm pretty sure some of the guys in the back just want to get points, want to get good points out of today.
All right. We're going to ride the right on board here with VOR Amarth, and they're going to go here in 10 seconds, so this should be a hell of a race here. It's going to be a really crazy turn 1.
Yeah, especially, and they're off.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
Amarth moving up a position pretty much right away. Good launch there from him.
3 wide mid-pack. See how turn 1 goes down. It looks like so far they're clean. Oh, it looks like we've got a few in the back making a little bit of a mistake.
Oh, a hit into Amarth into the the exit of the fountain section there. I don't know that it caused any damage whatsoever, but definitely some contact.
Yeah, Miko had gotten a little dicey with Osif there also going through the fountain section, but overall this is very clean for a Long Beach V8 supercar race.
Pack is now coming into the backstretch here, where these cars will get close to their top speed. This is the second highest speeds on the circuit, this backstretch here.
And they're all single file. It looks like we've got to move from the back.
A little bit of scrape there from a Marth on the outside concrete wall. A little bit of scrape in this simulator really doesn't have much impact. I mean, you'll see a visual scrape, but really doesn't have a huge, I mean, it doesn't cause damage. You have to have a fairly significant hit for it to cause damage.
Yeah, and that's what I have noticed on this game. It's a little more forgiving. Coming through that hairpin, it looks like there's a little bit of contact through some of the guys in the back, and that's what caused Metasphere to get offline a little bit. Looking here in about 13th position, he had to defend the line a little bit. Going down that first corner, he had to defend a lot more than he'd like to. But it looks like overall,
a little bit, but he has actually moved up places. So we're looking at LRT Breeze right now in first, GSR Roadrunner is second, TPR Zermatt third, F4H Diablo fourth, VOR Amarth fifth, N6R Ganon sixth, PG Wumba seventh, Bam Mist eighth, F4H Miko 9th, F4H Devil is 10th, Bam Osef 11th, Nick James 12th, PTG Mesosphere has moved up, he's 13th, Sorry Smithy is 14th, 15th is DKS Monkey, 16th TLR Overdrive, followed by F4H Crux in 17th, Kaipi VR in 18th, and J Parrot 46 in 19th.
Looks like they're starting to get into a rhythm now. It looks like the top two, Breeze and Roadrunner, are definitely running away with this one so far. Zermatt on the chase. Don't want to get too far behind.
Definitely not. If they stretch legs here and start pulling a gap, it'll be really hard to catch them without making a massive mistake and costing much more than not catching them. It'll take you out of the race effectively. They are really close though. I mean, I'm gonna say it's about 20 feet between them.
Oh yeah, definitely about 1 or 2 car lengths, not much more. And Breeze is just leading today. A little different story than what it was back in Coda, where he was trying to struggle just to get in the top 5. It looks like they're just now holding position. Now it looks like they're just kind of single file, waiting for one or the other to make a mistake.
Could be. I mean, this race really isn't long enough to plan long-term strategy against these guys. You gotta, plan your move. Yes, you've got to be patient to wait for the right spot on track, but you only get so many opportunities with 14 laps and this tight of a circuit,
Yep, and there's some huge hit from looks to be Monkey onto Metasphere going into the hairpin. It definitely got him loose, but it looks like he let off not to use that to his advantage in this little 3-car battle pack for it looks to be 11th place.
We'll go back and watch that real quick.
Looks like Monkey is a lot better on the brakes, but getting out of the corner, it looks like Metasphere is a little bit better on that end.
We have had a change for the race lead up front. It is GSR Roadrunner now leading. LRT Breeze then is second. TPR Zermatt still third. F4H Diablo fourth. Amarth is fifth.
Looks like they're side by side right now, going down into the backstretch, going down into turn 9. Turn 8, my bad.
It does indeed look like LRT Breeze has taken it back. We're going to go back to this battle at the front.
Open out. Now GSR Roadrunner, he's taking it back. Breeze actually overshot that final corner. and they are going neck to neck, and this has allowed Zermatt to actually catch
Now
back
a
up.
four-way. Yeah, definitely. It's now a four-way battle for the front.
Looks like Diablo lost a little bit there, coming out of that last corner. They are currently on lap 5 out of 14. So we'll have about 12 laps to go. Or 11, my bad. And it looks like Breeze is going to try making a move here soon. Looks like he's starting to catch back up to Roadrunner.
Man, they're so close. They're starting to pull away again from third place TPR Zermatt, but really not by a lot. There's a glitched car on track there.
Yeah. Looks like Breeze's own car. Luckily, the racers aren't seeing that. Oh, and it looks like Breeze is going to try going for it. He's going to try doing the over-under here on the front stretch.
Doesn't quite work for him. He didn't get quite enough run out of that. It's very difficult to really get purchase coming out of that turn 11 hairpin here, especially with the traction loads that these cars have.
Yeah, like I said in the qualifying session, I think the best place to probably pass is going to be into turn 6 after having somebody make a mistake into turn 5 or coming out of turn 5. But Breeze took that
much neater line there.
Yeah,
much neater line. Look at that into turn 4. They're very close.
He's going to
tiny mistake from either could cause a position change.
Yeah, exactly. This is looking really good for Breeze. He's got a much cleaner line through most of these corners. It kind of looks like Roadrunner's car is a little bit upset.
Could come down to effectively running a qualifying tune that just isn't as stable on long runs.
Yeah,
like over the 1 lap, but not over let's say 14 or 15 laps.
And that could be it. I mean, especially with the if you've got a setup that's really quick, you run out those front or rear tires quicker than the guy behind you, you could potentially set yourself up for failure coming down towards the end of the race when you're wanting to look for those wins.
Ryan, you keep an eye on the front here. I'm going to go back and we're going to look at TLR Overdrive, see how the mid-pack to backpack is doing. Overdrive very, very close to Smithy in what is the battle for 13th here. A bit of rubbing down the side of that Tech Life Racing car.
Yeah. Staying up front, I mean, it's still about how it was a lap ago. They're still nose to tail, and it looks like Breeze is a little bit better on the back section, that little 8, 9, 10, and then also going through the fountain. But everywhere else, it looks like the amount of gap that Roadrunner is being able to create through that 5, 6, and 7 is outweighing where Breeze can actually make a pass. But Zermatt is actually keeping pace this time around.
Not sure that we're really close enough here to try and make an overtake. We're going to try and switch around here. Was there contact at the front?
Not right now. Yeah, they're too far away right now. Let's see if maybe something in the back here.
Currently riding on board with Bam Osef in 9th, trying to chase down F4H Miko in 8th. Really not much between any of these cars. I mean, there's not huge gaps really anywhere in the field. Maybe a little bit behind Osef to 10th.
Yeah, it looks like the top 9 cars are only separated by about a second when you're going from car to car. In which then, I mean, at this track, it may look like there's a large gap, but you make one very small mistake and it's going to be multiplied at this track.
Indeed. All right, so we're riding on board with Amarth, and when I said there was no noticeable gaps, I think we found where the gaps are. Either side of Amarth here, there seems to be a huge valley of just no one.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of running in his own space there, trying to catch the battle for the front with those first 4 relatively close. That's F4H Diablo in 4th, TPR Zermatt in 3rd. And behind him, he's got BG Wumba that is.
Oh, there's a huge
2 or 3
mistake
seconds.
from Breeze. It's going to allow Amarth to actually pass him going into the fountain section.
You're talking about Zermatt then.
Zermatt, yep. Zermatt will actually pass him. Breeze is going back to 3rd. He had hit the curb on turn 1. But he is not going to give up that position very easy. He's going to try going back for that 2nd place.
No, I don't know what the driver's feelings are here, but I mean, while they're attacking it, it actually doesn't look like we're seeing any major cutting like we saw at Circuit of the Americas. Circuit of the Americas, we saw quite a bit of cutting, but not like patterned cutting, you know?
Yeah.
We saw a couple people do it a couple of times. We warned them and then cleaned up. But here, I really haven't. Maybe I've seen 1 or 2 cuts the entire race so far, and not from the same people.
Yeah, and that's a testament to these guys. They want clean racing. They want the best racing they can possibly get. When we give them guidelines, they're definitely following it. Granted, it's a lot harder to cut corners here, but there are definitely a few ones that you could easily cut that grab a lot of time. It looks like they're definitely keeping it together.
It's our current lap update.
It looks like we're currently on lap 11. Lap 10, my bad. We're on lap 10.
All right, we've got 5 full laps to go.
But
the one we're on.
One battle I would like to actually go back to is the one that's in the back of the pack between Smithy, Crux, and it looks to be one other there with Overdrive. With Overdrive. They all seem to be in a little battle pack because Crux actually was pretty far behind. It looked to be almost about 500-600 feet behind these guys, and he's right up on them. And Smithy actually just lost position to Overdrive.
We'll switch over to that Smithy Overdrive battle here. Oh yeah, definitely very close. See the Vitaphone livery there of Smithy. Somebody has really gotten into those tires there.
Yeah,
the
I think
exit
it may be
of turn 6.
I think it may have been one of these guys back here, because like I said, Crux he had a lot of room in between him and the next car, and he is now right on them.
Overdrive trying to keep it steady there. Really under pressure the entire time from Smithy. Overdrive has moved up into 13th. Oh man.
Yeah, now that while there's not
Smithy
quite
under pressure.
Yeah, they're definitely close, and it looks like, ooh. Yeah, that battle is starting to heat up, just like the battle up front is. They're kind of keeping a little bit more pace versus the guys out back, but the guys out back are definitely putting on a good show. The guys up front are just kind of keeping pace for what they've been doing. Not too many mistakes, and Roadrunner's definitely ran away with this one so far. So as long as he doesn't make a mistake, I see him taking the win in this one. I mean, they only have, it looks to be about 3 laps left.
Got to plan those overtakes smartly here. Don't want to end up with penalty, but you got to make your opportunity while you can. Overdrive trying to reel in DKS Monkey now, which is also the battle for 11th with PTG Mesosphere. see those 3 cars on the broadcast right now. The blue and yellow car of Tech Life Racing, that's TLR Overdrive, trying to chase down DKS Monkey. Man, it's close between Sorry Smithy and F4H Devil behind. Diablo, sorry. Or is it Devil?
That would have been Devil because Diablo is following Breeze and Zermatt.
I totally apologize. That is actually F4H Crux, who has moved up on Devil. That battle there is Sorry Smithy. Behind what we're watching right now is Sorry Smithy, F4H Crux, and F4H Devil still battling it out. We're going to go to the front and see how Zermatt, Breeze are reeling in GSR Roadrunner.
I don't think they're going to be able to catch him, but I do think right now Breeze is trying all that he can to just try to get a passing opportunity on Zermatt.
Very close, just like 4 feet from each other coming out of turn 11 there.
Yeah, and it looks like the power from the Volvo is just getting out of that corner is a little bit better than the Mercedes of Breeze there.
I'm not entirely sure how he's doing it, but he is getting the car straighter quicker, and I think that allows him to put down the power quicker than that in the Mercedes. The Mercedes is taking it all the way to the wall, versus the Volvo may have figured something out, either with their tune or just with the way the cars work here, that he's straightening the car out of turn 11 very quickly and just getting on the power. A bit of a cut there. Bit of a cut from TPR Zermatt.
And it looks like that's really helped out Zermatt. Not as much as you normally see from cutting that, but definitely there is a little bit to be gained there. And I think the really the biggest way, the difference between these cars, because it looks like they're coming on their final lap, it's going to be coming to the white flag as GSR will take that in the first place. GSR Roadrunner will take that in front here on the final lap of the race. But I think the way that Zermatt is driving his car is a lot more how you would drive the regular V8 Supercar, which is very square corners. So you get the car stopped in a straight line, get it turned in, and then you accelerate it in a straight line. So as soon as you can get your car in a straight line, you just gas it out. You square off a lot of these corners. Long Beach is a very easy track to drive a V8 Supercar correctly, but it's a very hard track to do it fast. And that's the reason why you see some, you'll probably see an upset here or two, especially in that second race. You'll definitely see somebody probably about mid-pack actually win the race, because it is so hard to pass here, and because of just how hard it is just to drive the car here in general.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good battle here between Nick James, Bam Osef in 8th, Nick James in 1, 2, 3 in 9th, and F4H Miko in 10th. They got really, really tight into the fountain section. Now coming onto the back straight, not really a whole lot they can do left. I mean, there's only a couple of corners. We're going to go back. I think the front is actually fairly squared away.
Yeah, and Roadrunner actually comes across the line. He will take the win here in the first race of round 2. Zermatt will take second, with Breeze taking third, Diablo in fourth, and Normoth will be in 5th. That's how they'll come across the line in the top 5.
Battle here for 10th. I don't think there's going to be any position change here, but that's also going to be Bam Osef 8th, Nick James 1, 2, 3 and 9th, and F4H Miko 10th. Places we didn't call out there: VOR Marth 5th, PG Wumba 6th, Bam Miss 7th, and then Osef, Nick James, Miko, like we said. PTG Mesosphere still in 11th at the moment. And we have actually finished all the way out to 14th, so I'll go down through the line here. PTG Mesosphere is 11th, TLR Overdrive is 12th. That's very good performance from him. F4H Crux did manage to get around Sorry Smithy. DKS Monkey might have had a mistake there. fell all the way back to 15th. F4H Devil is 16th.
Yeah, now F4H Crux definitely made his mark at this track, and he was one of those I was talking about in the very beginning of the race. You know, somebody who's just trying to hang out and not really make too many mistakes and make their way through the field based on other people making mistakes. He actually started 19th and ended up finishing up in 13th, so he'll have a good points finish, but he'll also have a good starting position. So be able to watch out for him coming into this 45-minute race for the reverse grid.
Absolutely. We're just going to gather the times here, get those tallied up, and grid up for the next race. Now, the next race is reverse grid based on season standing prior to round 2, so it does not involve the points gained from this first race here. So we'll see IPBR on pole in the second race, BG Wumba second, Jay Parrott, in third, Bam Mist fourth, and then as we get towards the bottom of that, we're going to see practically a reverse of what happened here. We're going to see Breeze, Amarth, A6, Roadrunner, and Zermatt all at the back.
Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be a bit difficult for some of these guys, but I do think the big winner for my underdog for this next race is probably going to be Crux starting out in 6th position, or even some of these other guys like Sorry Smithy. He made a few positions here and there. We'll definitely see one of those guys go up to the front, lead a couple of laps, and maybe one of these guys from out back will make their way through the field and definitely take the win.
All right, guys, we're just going to get this tallied up here, and we'll start the second race here in just a moment.
That's a pretty good race. Welcome, guys. This is going to be the second race of round 2 of the Turn V8 Supercar Series here at Long Beach Street Course. It's going to be a 33-lap race, which is going to be roughly about 45 minutes. Reverse grid. Well, it's going to be reverse grid based on standings. So we're going to see some new faces up front. This is going to be their very first weekend. They're going to be up front. And some of the older guys who finished well last week are going to be in the back of the pack. Last week, we saw GSR Roadrunner take the race 1 win. Again, with this week, he took the win. Last week, in the second race, he actually finished up 6th, with Zermatt taking the win after starting down in 17th position. So we'll definitely see a difference in who will take the win, maybe. See if Roadrunner can actually take the win this week. The way they're going to start out, we're going to see Campi BR start out first place. BG Wamba starting out in second. J Parrot 46 going to start out third. PTG Metasphere is going to start out fourth. F4H Crux is going to start out fifth. Sorry Smitty is going to start out sixth. Tiller Overdrive is going to start out in 7th. F4H Devil is going to start out 8th. N6R Ganon is going to start out 9th. DKS Monkey is going to start out 10th. F4H Miko is going to roll out in 12th, with Nick James right beside him at 13th, or my bad, 12th. Then we're going to move down to Diablo, who will actually start in 13th position, with Diablo or LRT Breeze starting out 14th. VOR Amar is going to start out 15th, with GSR Roadrunner starting out 17th and TPR Zermatt starting out 18th as our points leader as of last round. We haven't updated the points for this round. That will happen after this race, but we'll definitely see a difference in the points come the end of this race. With me in the booth, I do have Ryan McDowell, who's otherwise known as Siphon68.
Hey guys.
And he will definitely will be bringing you the action here from this 45-minute reverse grid. With these cars, you will have to pit within that 45-minute window. You've got about 25 minutes before they start to run out of gas. You will run out of gas before you run out of fuel or tire. So you'll see them pit anywhere between roughly that 20-minute to 25-minute marker. While it's not a timed race, we kind of time it out. You got 33 laps. So you'll see pits start to happen around like 15 to 17-ish, just about. Looks like
We're seeing them take the grid right now. See the pole position on the right here, the racing line, and the evens will be on the left. We had actually a very good getaway in race 1. Hopefully we see much the same in race 2 here.
Yeah, I was actually very, very surprised. Even though this is a very sanctioned league race and there are guidelines down to the T, most online races do have a little bit of contact here and there with some people spinning out on the first lap. But with these very hard cars to drive in the concrete jungle that is Long Beach, with walls lining the street, there's normally some carnage. We didn't see anything really. Saw a few bumps and nudges, but I mean, that's V8 Supercar. That's what you're gonna get. It looks like they're about to go away. Do you know how long we have left?
I would guess 3:30. So we're probably about 20 seconds out, 15 seconds out from a race start here. I'll let you know as we listen to driver comms.
Like I said before we got started, the race winner from last week started in 17th position. Came back and took the win. That was Zermatt.
I think that's actually going to be at 4 minutes then. They have not gone at 3:30. No engine revs, no significant engine revs yet. 10 seconds out if 4 minutes is the case. All right, it does sound like 4 minutes. We're 3 seconds from go time here. right on board with
they're
TLR
away.
Overdrive, and they're away. A slow
Oh.
getaway from the front.
It looked like he was actually in reverse. There was what looked to be Campi. He was actually in reverse. He's going to lose a lot of positions going into the first corner. Oh, and there's Nick James using a lot more of the track than what we would like.
Now, what'll be interesting here is if anyone has to pit because of that damage right at the beginning.
There's some damage in the fountain. Looks to be one
Probably
of the
have to pit again.
And we do have a car around. That's actually going to be, who's that?
Overdrive loses his mirror here, but takes an aggressive line into turn 6. He has the position.
Nico
Overdrive up into second at the moment, chasing down BG Wumba in first. PTG Mesosphere is in third. DKS Monkey is in fourth. Man, it's close. Breeze fifth. He really capitalized on that.
Yeah, Miko, it looked like Miko actually got it turned around there at turn 4, and that allowed some of these guys to move up in position. So yeah, just like we saw last week with Roadrunner, who made up 10 positions in the first lap. Breeze looks to do the same, but moving these next couple of positions are going to be a little difficult, as we saw last week again with Roadrunner.
We're going to look at, we're going to go on board here with Breeze. He's going to be pressurizing the front. See him here in his dark blue Mercedes, really trying to find any way around. Oh, and there's contact into the fountain section. That looks like an F4H car.
Yeah, because it looked like Metasphere just stopped coming into the fountain. Oh, because there's, oh, okay. Wombo was actually in the way, which caused that huge pileup.
That means Overdrive then into first. Wumba must have made a mistake then.
Yeah, it looked like, looking back on the replay here, it looked like Womba actually made a mistake coming out of turn 1, bounced off the walls and made a huge mistake, slowed way down for the fountain, and that's what caused a huge pileup. He actually has backed out of the race.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. So he is then going to be unclassified. It'll be a did not finish. Our current running order is TLR Overdrive in first, DKS Monkey in second, PG Mesosphere in third, LRT Breeze fourth, F4H Crux fifth, POR Marth is sixth, F4H Diablo is seventh. That's fantastic for both of those two, really capitalizing probably on the chaos of that first and second lap.
And it looks like Breeze is actually going to go for a pass here, going down into turn 1. Metasphere, puts a little bit of a block there. It was defensive, but then it turned into a block as he did come all the way over onto his nose.
Man, this is tight racing here. Definitely do continue to call those out as you see him. Kaipe BR in 8th, J Parrott 46 in 9th. GSR Roadrunner has moved up to 10th. TPR Zermatt is 11th. They're going to be struggling to make their way through the field. N6R Gannon is 12th. Smithy is 13th. Nick James 123 is 14th. F4H Miko is 15th, and F4H Devil is 16th.
And Breeze has made the pass on Metasphere. He will move up into third. And they are 3 wide going into turn 8.
Mesosphere
he's
practically in reverse here.
He's lost 4 positions just on the backstretch. He went from 3rd to 7th.
6th at the moment, 6th.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely several catching him out. It looks like there's going to be another overtake here for Diablo on Mesosphere. He's in the draft at the moment, but coming up to turn 1. Maybe a pass. It looks like he's lining up left. Mesosphere trying to drive a defensive line without really pulling a block. Coming into the fountain again. This appears to be a tough section. These guys very, very close. Sort of an accordion effect as these cars all bunch up in the lowest speed area of this course.
Yeah, exactly. Looking back on previous race winner of GSR Roadrunner, he looks like he's trying to get on top of anything that Campi will give him. And it looks like he actually will try to attempt a pass going into turn 6. Not going to happen. Loses a little bit of ground. It actually looks like Zermatt, who's right behind him, could take advantage of that too.
Switch back to Zermatt then. That's going to be our absolute fastest guys, Zermatt and GSR Roadrunner.
Yeah, they finished 1-2 in that last race. Breeze is up in the third with that third place he had last race. He's actually trying to catch Monkey and Overdrive in the first. But it actually looks like Roadrunner is going to go 3 wide. Oh, there's some contact.
Looks like somebody's pit maneuvered.
Oh no, Roadrunner is going to be back in the 15th position. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, he's not going to be happy about that. He has probably sustained some massive damage as a result. Very tight there into turn 1 as well.
Yeah, it looked like what had happened between the couple of cars that were there. It looked like Campi actually lost control just a little bit. And Zermatt was just right there. He was unexpecting it and hit him, and it just made an accordion effect and knocked him into the wall.
No damage for Roadrunner here. He did actually go through he did not go through the pits. It doesn't look like. He's got still 13% wear on his rear tires, so not sure how that worked out. Looked like he got kind of T-boned into that wall.
And Zermatt's
a big mistake there. A big mistake. Who is that?
That was Zermatt, who was into the tire wall. He's in the 14th now. So it looks like the fastest guys are making a couple of mistakes, which is going to allow Breeze to just stay ahead and not really have to worry about anything. As he is currently in third, he is trying to make a pass on Overdrive and Monkey up here in the front. He is right on their tail.
Switch to the battle at the front then. We're going to be riding on board with LRT Breeze.
And it looks like he's actually made the pass.
He has just got the pass.
He is trying to make quick work of Monkey here. Actually, he had passed Overdrive. He's trying to catch Monkey, who is currently in the lead. And if he can make quick work of him, just do the rest of the race. And it looks like they're currently on lap 6. And just ride the rest of the race, just running out in front. It looks like Marth is actually trying to make a pass here on TLR Overdrive back here, trying to get into third place so he can keep up with Breeze here, as he is one of the faster guys. He actually started this race pretty far back. Let me get you an update. He started back in the 17th position, and he's moving up into 4th position as his teammate is still way back. And looks like they're just following form right here as Breeze is just trying to, actually our Marth is gonna take the position away from Overdrive, as he made a mistake going into turn 1, and that's gonna allow him to move up into that podium position here on lap 7 of 33.
So yeah, definitely we're seeing Overdrive really try and stay with these guys. This would be great points if he can maintain 4th. I think that'll be really good, considering his qualifying position this week is 18th. So for him to be 4th in the second race, if he can hold on to that, it's a long race ahead, but if he can, that's going to be very good points for him.
Oh, absolutely. We look a little bit further back. We actually have Devil trying to make work of Crux here, going down into the backstretch into turn 8. He's right on his tail. And he seems to be a little bit quicker.
It appears to actually be F4H Diablo.
That's Devil in English.
Well, there's two F4H. So there's F4H Devil and F4H Diablo.
Yeah, the English and the Spanish one. And it looks like Diablo is actually the one here trying to make his way into 5th place. It won't make the pass going into turn 1. But it looks like eventually he will find a spot that Crux makes a small mistake and take that spot from. Even though they're teammates, it looks like they're both trying to just stay right here in 4th and 5th position. Or 5th and 6th.
You guys actually are from different entries in from F4H. So F4H has like 4 different entries. This series of varying speed and skill. So these two are actually battling for position in both teams and driver. Same affiliation, just battling for honors, I suppose.
Yeah. And it looks like Diablo is actually going to try to do the over-under here, coming into this the front stretch. But again, that move looks to be a lot harder than it seems to be. It looks like going out on that hairpin is going to be one of the hardest things you can possibly do. And it looks like still getting the power down on that hairpin is going to be quite possibly one of the harder things to do, especially trying to get past somebody into turn 1. Currently, it still looks like Breeze is breezing his way through this one. Ta-da.
The puns are terrible. All right, so let's see. We've got Breeze in front. I'll give you a quick update on timing here. We've got LRT Breeze in the front, currently running a 1:23.213. So he's definitely got legs this race. VOR Martha's second, not that far behind him, honestly. I mean, clearly within range, just not right up on his bumper. DKS Monkey is third. TLR Overdrive hanging on to fourth. F4H Crux is fifth. Diablo still pursuing that fifth place, but remains sixth. N6R Ganon, who faced an unfortunate disconnect in the first race, is currently seventh. PTG Mesosphere is eighth. That's pretty damn good work from him, considering he was not in Lobby A in the first race. Looks like a very slow-moving car there out of pit lane. You see who that was?
I did not catch it as I was watching Diablo and Crux. That's actually Campi BR. Looks like he's taken his pit, but his car is heavily damaged. He is not driving in a complete straight line. He's off to the side. It looks like he's just trying to get some points out of this one, as his race looks to maybe be a little over.
Unless our telemetry data is faulty, it appears that his car is actually working at full capacity. He's just on slow tires here, cold tires. Just came out the pits.
Okay, so he's already taken his pit. Okay. So he may have already taken his pit. Now that's a little bit early, considering the time. There are only 10 laps into the race. These cars look to run about 15 to 20 minutes, or 15 to 20 laps on fuel. And you do have to pit within a certain window, and as this race is a 33-lap race. So he may have to take another pit later on. Diablo was able to make that pass going onto the backstretch onto Crux. That was on lap 8, and that was on turn 8.
Excellent. So we're on board right now with GSR Roadrunner, currently running 10th as he attempts to chase down Nick James 123.
So it looks like he's actually made up some position since he had had that small incident with a few of those guys, but Zermatt has not been able to come back from that, as much. It looks like he may have had another mistake, as he is very, very far behind.
Currently is running 15th. Let's get a quick look at what's going on with that.
Miko is in the pits. So it looks like the pits are starting to come alive here. But it looks like they should be able to actually make it from here all the way. Maybe one more lap and they'll be able to make it. Some of these guys may be a little bit too early on their pit stop. But looking at
that's going to be really cutting it close, I think.
Yeah, looking at the fuel meter on some of these others, some of the other telemetry, it looks like they're just under halfway on their fuel usage.
I don't know about you, Ryan, but I'd really want to stretch that as far as I could. You know, you never know when you've got a pit, and I would like to take that fuel and stretch it as much as I could. If I had to pit later for damage, it just means a second pit. You know, if you get that damage, if you wait to pit and you do pick up a little bit of damage, you just tuck in, and that might be the only pit you have to do the race.
Also, one of the things I would do is, as a racer, maybe you're stuck behind somebody, you can't get around them. You go ahead and pit, get yourself out in clean air. You pit a little early, get yourself out in clean air, do a couple of laps, and once they come out of the pits, maybe you're behind them or in front of them. But it looks like actually Diablo is trying to make another move here on TLR Overdrive, and he will take it right before the hairpin. That's an unusual place to make a pass, but he was able to do it. And Diablo is going to move himself up into 4th place.
That's unfortunate for TLR Overdrive. Good for F4H. So now we're seeing Ken Diablo then get himself in range for catching the leaders. It looks like a Marth has just pit, if I'm reading the timing correctly.
Yes. Yeah, he is pitted. So it looks like that is going to be the time you're going to start seeing some of these other faster guys come in and pit. I think Armarth is going to try doing what I was explaining. Just trying to do what's called a short pit, try to get on better tires quicker, and especially on these one-stop races. That's one of the strategies is that you pit as soon as you can to get on new tires quicker, so you can make some of that room, some of that gap back up. And he did have a bit of a gap between him and Breeze. But Diablo will currently be scored 3rd as these pits are starting to open up. And it looks like Overdrive may be losing another spot to Crux, as Crux goes way deep. Oh, no,
that's going to hurt him. Crux might even fall back further. We'll have to see. We're going to stay on board here. The Overdrive. We'll see on the exit here.
And it looks like he's going to keep it.
Just about pulled that off.
Yeah, and it looks like Gannon's actually going to dive off into the pits.
Probably a wise move if Crux is making mistakes like that. If he'd have been in the pits, if he'd already done his pit, he probably would have been by.
Yeah, and that was what I was talking about. You see somebody making mistakes in front of you, you want to try to get yourself away from them and away and get behind them, or get in front of them after the pits happen.
We're going to go up and look at our race leader here. He has 32% tire wear on the back right. Now, like we said earlier, 17% or so is when your tires start to degrade and fall off of that optimum time. Now, or the optimum grip, I suppose. Now, these cars can go a really long way. I think you can really still set some of your best times up towards the 50% range, but it does drop off pretty dramatically after that. You get into a red or severely worn tire around the 50% range. You really won't want to stretch it that long. I think he's just going on a fuel strategy rather than a tire strategy.
Yeah, I think that's what Breeze is doing currently. I think and I also think he's just trying to stretch his tires out as much as he can, just in case he does make a mistake. He can use that to his advantage later on in a race as somebody who may have pitted a little bit earlier, like a Marth or Zermatt.
So Roadrunner then is currently up to 8th.
Yeah, he's right behind. He's right behind his teammate. As Nick, actually, he is taking this pit. He thought better of it. Doesn't want to make any kind of mistakes and making any mistakes trying to keep up with these or try to pass these slower guys of Nick James and Metasphere's teammate. So he actually dove off into the pits. And it looks like Metasphere is trying to run away from Nick James here.
That's the battle we're on. Nick James and PTG Mesosphere. So that's battle for 6th then. Nick James in the Mercedes there, PTG Mesosphere in the Ford. Rounding corner 6 right now. Headed up to the back straight. This is actually very critical corner there to get just right with the traction so that you can achieve your second to highest speed on the track. And it actually, some feel it's actually more important than that last turn, only because you can carry more speed through there. The last turn, pretty much everybody has to slow down to roughly the same speed.
Now, one battle I would like to keep up with is going to be Overdrive, as he has moved himself back into 3rd as Diablo made a mistake. Diablo actually is going to go into the pits now, and that's going to leave Crux and Overdrive on the road by themselves, and they're actually very, very close with each other.
Oh yeah, Crux has definitely pulled right up to Overdrive there as they get ready to enter the fountain section here. The low speed, not real tail happy through the fountain section. It's just very tight. You can't really go too wide here without expecting contact.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder section in these cars versus, let's say, the Indy car or the GT3 cars. Going through that section with these cars are very hard because the rear end of these cars have a locked differential, a spool diff. Some people may know it as. And what it does is it actually doesn't allow the car to turn. The car doesn't want to turn with that kind of differential in it. It only wants to go straight. Along with that, you have these really, really tiny tires, and the brakes are basically the size of what comes on a Prius when you're looking at race car brakes. So these cars are not optimized for road racing, but they do it anyways, and they put on a great show. But that's what makes them very, very hard to race as a race car.
Yeah, typically you see race cars have way overpowered brakes, and so that is not the thing that is lacking in the car. You know, you underpower the engine, you underpower the handling or whatever, but in these cars they have plenty of handling, plenty of braking power, plenty of engine power, plenty of grunt. Just very little. They got to be very cautious on those brakes. It's easy to make a mistake. Now, the brakes aren't so poor that they're going to find themselves making a massive mistake, but it's super easy to either lock up or underperform on the brakes here.
Yeah, and with the style of car that it is, it's a very heavy car with very low aerodynamics. I know we see these big wings and the front end has got a splitter to it, but they're not making very much downforce at all. I mean, the only place they are really making any kind of downforce is on the rear wing. Other than that, the whole car itself is very not very aerodynamic at all. And that's what, that's going to cause these cars to really not stop as well as, say, a GT3 car. But they have very small brakes and very small tires and a differential that doesn't want to turn. Along with that, you have 650 horsepower, or 630 roughly. And
all over the front, over the front for every single one of these cars. And, the other thing that kind of hurts these cars is dive planes are outlawed. So you look at these cars and where Ryan had a point there with the GT3 cars. Not only are they lighter and generating, there's a sculpted underbody for those cars, a sculpted floor, so they're generating way more downforce, and all of that air management helps them stop the cars much quicker. These are really, as far as design-wise, other than the rear wing, they're not that far off from overpowered road cars.
Yeah, and that's what makes this series a little bit different than, say, the GT3s, the prototypes, GT4 even. This would be something that's going to be similar more to the old school Trans Am series that was alive and well in the Americas back in the 70s. That's a bit more what these cars are like. Now they're a little more sophisticated. They've got digital dashes, tire pressure monitoring system, stuff like that. Modern accommodations, but no ABS, no traction control. Now, while we'll allow it here, in the real world, that stuff doesn't exist. And that's what makes these cars a much different animal to drive than just about any road racing car currently available right now.
Absolutely. Just a reminder that this race is the Turn V8 Supercars, and what we mean by Turn, that is the ultimateracing.network.com. You head over there, you sign up, get registered on our forums, and you can participate in races like these. Now, this is the top lobby. This is the absolute fastest guys. A little bit of a slide there from Zermatt, but yeah, definitely head over there and you can find racing of all types. This isn't the only series we run. There's also the Masters series and the BAC Mono. There's also our Turn community is great and has several events coming up. There's also the Community Clio Cup, which is going on right now, hosted by F4H Motorsport. All good stuff, and really there's room for everyone. Slow, fast, so long as you can be clean, really you're welcome on the track.
Now, Roadrunners looks like he's actually making a pass on Crux as they make a little bit of contact going through turn 1, but he will make the pass. It looked like Crux just did not give him enough room at all. We are on lap 19 of 33, and that is going to basically signify, it looks like Breeze may start to come in here as his fuel gauge is starting to look a little empty. Actually may take 1 or 2 more laps and then come in, but it looks like everybody should be sorted out here in a few more minutes, as Breeze has actually taken his pit now, and that will hand the lead over to Overdrive until he pits.
So we're going to ride on board then with TLR Overdrive just to make sure that when he does pit, which has got to be really any lap here, that we catch the action as he comes out of the pits. We fully expect Breeze to maintain the lead.
But where Overdrive
really pushing
was,
the limits of what they can do with fuel. I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, and where Overdrive was, he was right there in the middle of the pack before everybody started pitting. He was right there in the middle of the front pack, I should say, about 5th or 6th, and then everybody started pitting. Jay Parrott is currently 2nd with F4H Devil in 3rd.
Why don't I go ahead and give you a quick rundown on what the timing is. First, TLR Overdrive, Jay Parrott 46 is 2nd, F4H Devil is 3rd, LRT Breeze is 4th, VOR Amarth is 5th, TPR Zermatt is 6th, 7th is N6R Gannon, 8th is DKS Monkey, 9th is F4H Diablo, 10th is GSR Roadrunner, still moving up through that pack, 11th is F4H Crux, 12th PPG Mesosphere, 13th is F4H Miko, 14th Nick James 123, 15th Sorry Smithy, 16th Hype VR.
And it looks like Breeze has gotten out of the pits in about the 4th position. Now I think he's still going to be considered first place, but he's going to be only about 300 feet away from Amarth, so not really a huge gap between them, between 2nd and 3rd, effective 2nd and 3rd, or 1st and 2nd.
A look at Amarth here to see what that gap is. Can't just spot what the live distance is here between the two. Can't really see Breeze ahead.
You're looking somewhere between 300 and 400 feet, depending on which part of the track they're at. So a major mistake from Breeze could give the win over to Amarth, or could give the lead over to Amarth. With his teammate Zermatt is actually in 5th, so he's actually made a huge gain from where he was. It looked like he may have actually taken
Overdrive in the pits. I'm sorry to cut you off there. Overdrive is in the pits here. I'm going to switch back to LRT Breeze and see where he comes out.
Breeze is actually coming through turn 9 here. It looks like he's about to come in through the hairpin.
Got to be job done, I would think, for Breeze on overdrive. I just don't think overdrive was far enough up the track. Yeah, we see overdrive still trapped in pit lane. He does make the overtake there.
So
Breeze
Breeze
is ahead. F4H Devil still leading this race, though.
It looks like we do have a slower car in what looks to be DKS Monkey. He will be our second car, 1 lap down. He'll be stuck in between what looks to be first and second, between Breeze and Zermatt. As F4H Devil looks to be the only competitor who hasn't pitted yet, as he's about to enter the backstretch here.
We're going to go back to Zermatt now. Zermatt, earlier we had said that Zermatt really hadn't capitalized and come back quite as strong as GSR Roadrunner, but I think we underestimated. He must have taken that opportunity to pit and done, like you said, the short pit and picked up the undercut on getting fresh tires on his car because he's moved up to 4th. The question is now, can he make it to the end of the race?
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing. Now, one thing I'm not seeing is, as you speak of Roadrunner, I don't see his name on my list. Is he considered out?
He may be. Let's take a quick look. That's going to be really unfortunate. He is out of the race. It does appear he is out. So is Diablo. Roadrunner and Diablo just then got hunted from the race. And now this is a 14-car race. That is really unfortunate. Diablo and Roadrunner running really well this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. We'll have to look on the replay later on. We'll see. We'll be able to get you all that on the post-race report here in a few days.
So Devil has now pit, has come out 11th. So that has handed the lead back to Breeze. So it is Breeze from Amarth, Zermatt, to Gannon in 4th, TLR Overdrive in 5th. That's still fantastic points for him. Hopefully he can hang on to those. F4H Crux, though, will have something to say about it.
Yeah, exactly. And you look back here with F4H Miko, who is currently in 8th. He actually got spun out in the very beginning of this race, and he is made his way back up to 8th after starting almost dead last, and he's actually put himself into the tire wall. And there we go. We have a huge wreck. It was between Miko and what looks to be a few others, as he had just put himself into the wall.
Let's see if we can't pick up where that's at.
That was over on turn 7, my bad. Turn 7, come on onto the backstretch.
Who has he collected in this? Was it Sorry Smithy and Mesosphere?
I think it was just Mesosphere who punted him out of the way, because it just came around that corner and there was just no room to go.
Mesosphere diving into the pits here. Kind of a late pit, honestly.
I think that may be in reaction to the damage that he has received.
Yeah, that's a good call on that one. All right, let's go back and ride on board with F4H Crux and see where we're at with his battle with Overdrive. That's over 5th place.
We are getting down to the very end of this race. It looks like we've got about 8 laps to go. They are on lap. The LRT Breeze is coming across the line for lap 25 of 33.
And the endurance to drive these slippery cars around such a narrow track, I really have to hand it to these guys for enduring through. I mean, it's unfortunate for those that had disconnections, but sometimes retirements happen in a race. It appears that there's a car, at least on the replay, that shows turned the wrong way on the start-finish straight there. So we're on board with Crux right now, 6th, trying to catch Overdrive. I just don't think he's that close. We'll see in the next couple of shots here. Okay, so he's 1 corner away, probably about 400 feet, 500 feet or so.
Yeah, again, it's anywhere between 300 and 400 feet, depending on which turn.
Zermatt has moved up to 2nd then.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to keep hold of that points lead coming into the next round. Looks like he's trying to get as many points as he possibly can now, while catching Breeze is probably going to be impossible, as he's almost 1,500 feet away from Zermatt.
This is exactly what Gannon needs, though. Hasn't really lucked out in many of these races yet, but currently running 4th. That'll be great points for him.
Yeah, it looks like
see how close a Marth is to his teammate.
Looks like right now we now have 7 laps to go left in this race, as they're as they are just now about halfway through lap 26 of the 33. It looks like there's not too many battles that are too close together. Zermatt or Marth may be the closest right now, but if Zermatt does make a small mistake, we will see Marth be able to capitalize on that. And it looks like everyone right now is just kind of holding station. There are a few cars without a mirror. It's very typical of V8 Supercars to miss a side mirror, especially on these road courses, or these street circuits, I should say. Speaking of street courses and V8 Supercars, they will be racing at the Gold Coast this next week. Gold Coast 600. It's a team enduro race.
Oh, very aggressive there on the curbs from a Marth. Taps the wall, makes him run wide through the fountain section. He's losing a bit of time there. I don't know if he's going to fall back into the clutches of N6R Gannon or not. I don't know whether he picked up damage.
Like you said at the top of the broadcast, you can scrape these walls and kind of get away with it. It's going to take a major hit, and it doesn't look like he hit it too hard.
Really winding down here on actionable traffic. Give a lap update for us.
Yeah, we are currently sitting, looks like Breeze has just crossed over onto lap 28 of 33, so 6 to go. 6 laps remaining in this race. Do have an update from Roadrunner. It looks like his internet actually disconnected from the race, and he was doing very well. He was up to 8th before his pit stop from after making a huge mistake, putting him back in about 15th position.
I mean, he has done pretty well, and you have to think that that's really good. But we look at Zermatt, and that has sort of been a wow moment. Like, he's gone from starting at the back to 2nd. It's fantastic, actually. I'm not really quite sure how he's done that, other than his alien skills.
Yeah, and especially thinking about what happened to him, getting caught up with that mess between him and Roadrunner and Campi.
Pit wall, right?
Yeah, and yeah, that was with Roadrunner, who got the worst of that. But then later on in that lap, he actually hit one of the other tire barriers head on. That put him back into 15th, with Roadrunner back in 16th. So they had to actually restart, basically going back through the pack again. And that allowed Breeze to just break away from the pack and just stay up front.
A quick hop on board with Overdrive here just to see if we have any view of the cars ahead. Third and fourth just went through turn 1 right now, so he is a good ways back. He's probably pretty solidly going to stay in 5th there. We'll fall back then and pick up Mesosphere, see how that back battle is going.
But Breeze has been doing very well this race. He kept this car clean. He got a really, really great start coming back from what I believe was about 15th or 16th. He's moved his way into 5th place after the first lap, and now he is currently leading by over a straightaway. It looks like he about halfway down the backstretch, and he's actually all the way down the backstretch before Zermatt even gets onto the backstretch. Kind of give you an idea of how big the gap is between first and second currently.
Really is impressive how many drivers are getting away without using traction control in this series. Very invasive in this game, and honestly, this is one of the more challenging classes to run without traction control. Now, I don't strictly think it's necessary in this series, but you definitely got to be a little bit smoother on your throttle on, throttle off to not upset the balance of the car.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the things, especially with this car. You know, like we were talking about earlier, and how hard these cars are to drive. When you have these small brakes and these big power and these small tires, they're really hard to drive without any kind of assist. But if you can master it, it's really going to help you out, and you know, being able to drive quicker than everybody else. It's going to help you move up in your standings.
So Breeze currently running first, the only driver to be in the 122s. He has a 122.828 clean during the race. He is really pushing it to try and bring home the win in this. VOR Martha is behind him and is only 3/10 behind him on lap pace. So all these guys are really pushing for it here.
Yeah, even though Marth is he's in second, and it looks like we've actually...
Zermatt has not made it. Zermatt is now back in 10th.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually back down to 11th. He may have ran out of gas here. Running back, yeah, because I was looking at the standings, I noticed that Zermatt wasn't there. He was currently there. But he may have made a mistake. Either that or he's really trying to fuel cell.
He may have, yes, he just pit again. That's what I was worried about, his early pit, whether that would work out for him. We were talking about whether that would be advantageous for him to pit quite so early, whether he would be able to make his fuel stretch or not. So oh man, that is really unfortunate that he has slid all the way back to 11th. So now Breeze and Amarth, it's up to his teammate Amarth to do what he can. This moves N6R Gannon up into 3rd and TLR Overdrive up into 4th.
And what this is going to do for the points is going to be crazy, because Roadrunner is currently leading after the first race today. Roadrunner was currently leading. Zermatt was in second place, and both of those have had pretty poor second races by their standards. But Amarth and Breeze were actually not too far behind them on points. But it looks like they're going to actually close that gap up, and it's going to be a 4-car race for the top going into next week. It looks like Overdrive is going to have a good points day, as he is currently a 14th position car. And he has moved himself into 4th.
Looks like the front pack is getting around some lap traffic here. There is a car between N6R Gannon and Amarth. Can't tell who that is.
Let's see. Should be able to. I actually got a few cars. We actually have, it's going to be Mesosphere and what looks to be a DKS Monkey.
And that is really not what Gannon is going to want to see, because that may block him from, I mean, it gets risky if you have to pass one car to get around to the front. To pass two that are both battling for position, hats off to Amarth for getting around both of them, because it's going to be really tough, I think, for Gannon.
Yeah, Gannon's going to have to not only deal, like you said, with the lap traffic, but they're not going to make it easy on him, because they're both racing to get one more position.
See what happens here. He's too far back to make an out-braking maneuver into turn one. Just consistency and closing right up on these guys is going to be what he has to do. But man, he's really going to be taking a risk there, getting that close to lap down traffic. I think not that these guys are any less. A bit of a mistake there from Mesosphere too. The tension is building on this. Mesosphere not trying to lose any positions as the leaders try to come through here.
Yeah, it looks like Gannon's actually going to be held up. I mean, you've only got a few more laps here. Actually, they're on their final lap. LRT Breeze is currently on his final lap, so this is actually the final lap of the race. It looks like they are running nose to tail here for 12th position. Now they are a lap down, but this is getting pretty intense. But it does look like Breeze will take the win here in the second race, the 45-minute race of the Long Beach round.
Fantastic job to him for that. What a great finish here. Unfortunate that Gannon couldn't have a chance at moving up there to take the fight to Amarth, but sometimes that's how it works out. So currently we've got Breeze from Amarth, Gannon third, TLR Overdrive is fourth, 4H Crux is fifth. Nick James still trying to make his way around. We're going to see if we can't go pick up that battle between Mesosphere.
Their race should be over as it's the checkers out.
They still had a lap to go. They were lap traffic. So currently we have finishing up to 9th. So let's see, Nick James 123 is 6th. Jay Parrott 46 is 7th. Sorry Smithy is 8th. F4H Miko 9th. Then F4H Devil just now crosses the line for 10th. Zermatt then does take 11th. It's unfortunate for him about his tires, but sometimes that's how the strategy goes. You don't know whether, I mean, really he only had, what, 4 laps or so that he misjudged that by?
Yeah, it was just around there. About 3 or 4 laps he could have waited, and he could have made a good clean race of the rest of it. I think he may have had a lot of damage that he was thinking more about than his fuel.
And BTG Mesosphere then does stay ahead of DKS Monkey, and back at the back there we've got IBVR that is still out there trying to finish his race in his Ford Falcon. Will cross the line shortly here, but just 2 minutes between the first place and 13th, so a relatively close race, honestly. Zermatt then takes what appears to be fastest lap of the race, a 1:22.645. That guy was lightning fast around here today.
Yeah, and it looks like Breeze will probably have the top spot come the release of the new standings. It should be what looks to be probably Breeze is going to be up top and Amarth is going to be second place, but we'll definitely see what that comes out. And it escapes my mind. Where are we racing at next week?
Take a quick look. We're going to be at Hockenheim next week.
Yeah.
That should be a great race, actually. It's not this tight. They can be a little bit more generous about the corners that they take. The big problem is that several of the curves are very slippery, very prone to causing a spin.
Yeah, and the actual track itself drives almost like a street course, as it's very stop and go. There's a few corners that we're going to be able to show off the very little aerodynamics these have, especially coming off that hairpin, that right-hander, going into that modified section. But yeah, the aerodynamics of this car are really going to show off, especially on that right-hand corner. But that track is a very similar. You drive it in similar fashion as you do this one, the street course style, where it's a very go and stop style of track. So you'll probably see some of the same people up front. You'll probably see some of the same people in the rear of the field, but you'll still see some great action. Probably a little more passing, especially with that hairpin having such a long straightaway, and these cars have a lot of draft on them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that finishes up our broadcast for today. Congratulations to the race winners, GSR Roadrunner and LRT Breeze. That was a fantastic show of what can be done in a clean race. You know, there were some contacts here and there that's sort of to be expected on a track like this, where you're just sort of closed in by concrete on all sides. Next week, join us for Hockenheim. Again, qualifying starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, race at 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.